Well, you know the term, I wear my sunglasses at night, that famous song. Well, I may not wear them at night. However, my guest right now, Dr. John Hovannisian, would certainly recommend you using these during the day. Am I right?
These are some bright studio lights,
yes,
my friend, and I'm glad you had those on for even just a moment. That's right. Do I look cool? I don't look nearly as cool as you look.
Ah, you're looking cool right there.
I look cooler, and my eyes are cooler for having the protection. These are very nice, too. The classic Wayfarer style.
They are.
Sunglasses. Good for you.
Hey, let's talk about this because, you know, year-round in California, obviously we need sunglasses, but let's talk about the importance and what you should look for in sunglasses. And I think nowadays almost the UV protection is built into almost every sunglass sold, I would think.
You know, it's interesting, the labeling requirements, they're very loose labeling requirements for sunglasses, and unlike a lot of other products that relate to safety on the market, you know, they have regulations as to what you can claim with drugs and other medical devices, but not with sunglasses. So a decent brand is a good idea, but you don't need to spend a fortune to have good sun protection. Inexpensive sunglasses, as long as they have 100% UV protection, are probably fine. And then beyond that, it has to do with the fit. As nice, actually, can we use these as an example? The Wayfarers are a great classic look for sunglasses, but what they lack, and they're not terrible, but they lack side protection. And in many cases, the front of the lens is tilted forward, you know, in a way that is designed to minimize reflection, but also allows sun to enter from the top with Wayfarers.
That's a good point.
You know, so that's, if there's a shortcoming to this classic design, that is it. You'll find more, you know, modern styles of sunwear usually have a wraparound design, and that provides really nice protection. So a wraparound design, 100% UV protection, you know, is it. A lot of people ask about polarization. Have you heard about?
Oh, sure.
Polarization is mostly to help you see better. What polarization allows is you to see through a reflective surface. Like if you're looking for fish below the water surface, you can see them because it cuts down on the glare off the surface. And that's also helpful if you're driving in the rain, or, you know, and it's a bright day, or you've got wet road surfaces or reflective surfaces. So polarization is not essential for eye protection. It just gives you better vision.
Okay, that's good to know because you know, again, most sunglasses nowadays tout they're polarized, which is weird if you've ever noticed when you look at your phone. Sometimes it's kind of hard to see.
Yeah, exactly. If you tilt the phone on the side, it gives you, you know, it may black out because this has got a polarized surface on it too, just like your eye does. So
tell us what the UV protection really does.
Well, so UV is a far end portion of the light spectrum. You know, light that we see as white, or in the case of yellow from the sun, is yellow because the blue part of the light is scattered, right? That's why the sky is blue. But it's composed of many different colors, but the invisible colors are at the UV end of the spectrum, the lower end of the wavelength spectrum, the higher end of the frequency spectrum if you're into physics, and that means higher energy photons of light, which can be destructive to tissue. And what's interesting about the eye, naturally we need a sunscreen to protect all our skin, because especially at this time of year with long hours of sunlight, we're at risk. But the eye is mucous membranes that are exposed. You know, our other mucous membranes, like in our mouth, are not exposed to the sun, at least very much. But our eyes are constantly exposed if they're not covered, and that can cause damage to those tissues. They don't have the keratin, the hard part of what makes our skin tough. You know, it's lacking, and so there's less sort of protection from the elements. And that's why sunglasses are a very helpful thing. And there's a whole variety of diseases that arise in the eye as a result of sun damage.
What about when it's not sunny out? We've got, as you know, not uncommon, especially the first part of summer here, the fog. And we get that for a good part of the day. Do you still need sunglasses?
I wear sunglasses when it's bright out, regardless of when
so
it's...
do I.
And you probably do too, because you, like me, have light-colored eyes. We're both kind of blue-eyed guys who are, and lighter-eyed people tend to be more sensitive to sun because we have less pigment in the eye to absorb the light that comes through. So as a general rule, brown-eyed people don't feel as much the need for sunglasses, but very often need the sunglasses because you may have darker colored skin that protects you from certain skin disorders to a degree, but your eyes are probably not. And so that poses, additional risk to you. So the answer to your question is, if it's bright, it's a good idea to wear sunglasses even when it's cloudy. And certainly when the sun is coming through directly, you should wear them.
And I would assume that it's something that you would recommend even for kids. I know a lot of kids don't like wearing them, or they forget. My daughter's kind of that way. It just seems starting kind of this year, she's wearing sunglasses. She's like 11 and a half, more and more.
Yeah.
But for years, we'd be walking around somewhere and, it's bright, sunny day, and it didn't seem to bother her, yet she has light-colored eyes.
Since birth, I've been chasing around my kids to try to get them to wear sunglasses, and I've probably had no more success than you've had. You'd think the kid of an eye doctor who treats sun damage would be a little better at this, but the fact is it's very hard to modify their behavior. It's a good habit to establish from an early age. The other thing we should add also is that wearing a hat. It makes a huge difference. A hat with a brim. And, a baseball cap style is good, but it's better if you have a broader brim. And, that'll cut down as much as 60% of the sunlight that's coming toward the eye just by having a hat on. So, and then combining the two, hat with sunglasses is even better, probably the best thing. And of course, you additionally protect the skin of your face. Because you want to, you want to keep looking like you're in your 20s, like you and like me.
I don't know about that, at least for me. But okay, let's talk about maybe you're out all day and maybe you didn't wear sunglasses that much, or even if you didn't, you come home and your eyes are really bothering you. We've all been there. It almost feels like your eyes are burning in a sense. What can you do? What's the best thing when you get home? Cold compress or what?
A cool compress is a good way to make them feel better. And lubricating eye drops. Probably everybody should have lubricant eye drops in their medicine cabinet. And they make lots of different varieties. At the drugstore, they're available without a prescription. Some are more expensive than others. Some have brand names. Really, any one is okay, but look for the label lubricant eye drops. We generally don't recommend drops that tell you that they get the red out, because most of those on the market have chemicals in them that end up making the problem worse. And so best to just stay away from them. Just lubricant eye drops is what to look for at the store. And you can refrigerate those too, by the way.
You can?
You can. They don't hurt in any way to do that. And in fact, it feels, for a lot of people, really soothing to put a cool temperature drop in the eye.
I didn't know you could do that.
You can actually refrigerate any eye drops. It's a good way to be sure it goes in the eye, because when it's cold, you feel it in the eye. It doesn't harm the drops at all to do that. And for a lot of people, it makes it easier to take them.
Okay, there was something that I heard years ago, and I don't know if this is true, that you don't want sunglasses that are too dark because it actually opens your pupil up. Now, maybe that's just something I read years ago and it's not true.
The trade-off with darker sunglasses is a couple of things. One is that it's harder to see in environments that are not that bright. That fear of more damage to the eye because of a larger pupil allowing more light in is probably unfounded, though, because realistically the darker lenses are not allowing as much of any light in. And again, if they're 100% UV protecting, the harmful light rays are not getting through, the most harmful light rays.
And by the way, I do have a wraparound pair that I keep on. I always keep an extra
Putting you on the spot here.
Yeah, I always keep an extra, I mean, I like these a lot, but I always keep an extra pair of my sunglasses in my car just in case I forget these. And as I told the doctor here that I found some online and they were like $5 or $6 each, and they do have 100% UV protection. They're, really cheap, real thin little plastic, but I use those when I go into the pool because I always have sunglasses, or I use them. They're an extra one I keep in the backpack that I take to Disneyland or something, kind of for the same purpose.
Sure. Yeah, you can kick them around, and if they get broken or lost, you're not going to cry about it because it didn't cost you over $100. It's a great lesson that you don't need to spend a fortune to have good sun protection. What do you get with better, quote, better quality or brand name glasses, Ray-Bans like these, or Maui Jims, or there's a bunch of different brands. You get better optics. You know, the
Yes.
lenses
Oh,
have
yeah.
better engineering. There's beautiful coatings inside that help to make things more vivid. You get a fashion statement that you know, is up to you if you want to have it. And generally, they're a little better quality build. You know, they're not going to fall apart like some of the knockoff brands will. But look, you know, if it's a matter of wearing or not wearing, wear cheap ones. You know, as opposed to nothing, because your eyes need the protection, and they'll get most of it with almost any pair of sunglasses. So that's a great point to make.
Let's talk about people who need to wear glasses all the time.
Yeah.
And often they choose to go with the, I always forget, the transition.
Yeah.
I guess that's the term.
Very popular.
And those have UV coating built into them as well?
They now do, and for a number of years they do. And they're nice because they're convenience. You don't need to own multiple pairs of glasses. You don't need to have a prescription sunglasses as well. You know, the challenge is, for example, with the glasses you have here on the counter, if these were, actually the others.
Oh, these are my cheap little $5
you know,
readers.
And yet they're a good example because, you know, a lot of people have glasses that might look like this that are a standard pair of glasses. When you make them dark, even with or without sun protection, there's a lot of light that comes in on the side. They're smaller lenses,
right.
so they don't have the wraparound design. So that is sort of a downside of transition lenses. They're convenient, but they probably don't provide quite as much protection because they don't have the side coverage that you do with your wraparound glasses.
I remember the ultimate wraparound glasses. I don't know if you remember this, because I think I'm older than you, but they were made by Sea and Ski. Do you remember Sea and Ski brand?
Sea and Ski, boy, that's a good blast.
They
from the
made
70s.
back then it was suntan lotion.
Yes, right.
But they made these glasses.
Yeah.
They looked like cyborg glasses, and they were a thin little band.
Yes,
of opening.
And they sure looked cool. At
They
least
did.
Then they did.
You know,
you don't see a lot of them around nowadays, do you?
No, but I bet if you found an original pair, they'd be worth a lot of money.
They might be.
But those were the
Just to wear
ultimate
to a party, I
wraparounds.
think.
Yeah, they would be kind of fun.
Yeah. Those were, you know, a great fashion statement, but not a lot of
Probably
protection.
didn't get a lot of vision in there.
Yeah.
And back then, I don't think sunglasses had UV protection. They were just dark lenses.
You know, the labeling then was a lot less consistent than it is now. Most plastic lenses, interestingly, most lenses you'll come across are plastic. Most plastic lenses are UV protecting. They get at least a high level of UV protection because it's sort of built into the plastic materials. They don't permit a lot of UV transmission. That's not 100% of UV, and it's not 100% of plastic lenses.
That's
The
good
other thing we should talk about is for folks who have something on their eye that they see, if there's a you know, question of damage, because a lot of times if you look in the mirror, particularly when you're tired or you know, dehydrated and you know, maybe haven't slept well, the eyes are red, and most of the redness occurs in that band that goes from, you know, the outside of the eye to the inside of the eye.
Yes, it does.
And in some cases, that's a disease which is called pingueculum. Pingueculum is not cancerous, but it's a thickening of normal tissue, and it can by itself cause irritation because it's a little thicker than the surrounding tissue, and that can also grow onto the cornea, and when that happens, we give it a new name. We call it pterygium, P-T-E-R-Y-G-I-U-M, pterygium, and it can progress as well to form cancer, and there are a variety of skin cancers that occur on the surface of the eye. And so, you know, a good message for everybody who's listening today is that if you have something on the surface of your eye that looks abnormal, particularly if it's new, it's good to ask your eye doctor for an exam to look and make sure that there's that it's nothing to be worried about. For comfort, you can again take lubricant eye drops, but it's good to make sure that it's nothing serious. So,
all right, good to know. So, really easy protection, and it can be fairly inexpensive.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be a big investment to take care of yourself.
All right. Good advice for the summer and really year-round here.
Yeah. Terrific to talk to you again.
All right. Always good to see you.
Thank you, my friend.
You take care, and we'll be right back.